Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Leal and I'm the training manager for our Americas region. And today on our tips and tricks video, we're actually going to talk about Excel and ARGUS Enterprise and how they work in conjunction with each other. And so one of the first things that I want to talk about is XL4ADW because it's a really powerful tool that comes with ARGUS Enterprise, and it's actually our Excel add-in. So if you open up an Excel sheet, you'll have an ARGUS AE tab up at the top, and you have the ability to create input sheets or create result sheets. So we can get input data from ARGUS Enterprise, or we can get results data. And so if we choose to create input sheets, you can pick and choose what data you want to push and pull. I'm going to choose inflation rates and market leases. Hit next, and then I have the ability to fill them with empty worksheets, or I can fill these sheets with ARGUS Enterprise data. And once I choose to fill the sheets with ARGUS Enterprise data, well, then I have the ability to pick and choose what properties I want to pull this data from. So I can choose my portfolio, choose the scenario within that portfolio, and then pick and choose what properties I want to pull this data from. Once I bring the data into Excel, I then have the ability to go into any piece of data that I want, whether it's my inflation rates or my market leasing data that I just pulled over. I can go to really any piece of data that I would like, and I can analyze that data a little bit deeper, which is going to pull it up in an ARGUS Enterprise format or a detailed window, which many of us are used to seeing in AE. Or I also have the ability to go to a piece of data and actually expand the series as well to as many number of periods as I want to kind of get a little bit more detailed view of what's happening each period. Expanding out the series gives us the ability to make mash changes a little bit easier. So for instance, if I go to inflation rates and I expand out the periods, I can then easily make changes to the inflation rates. And not just within one property, I can make changes to inflation rates across every property in my portfolio. And then after I go in and I make any changes that I want, I can then just simply send this data back to ARGUS Enterprise, and then it will update across every property within my portfolio. Now, XL4ADW is just one way that Excel and ARGUS Enterprise work in conjunction. However, you don't actually have to use this tool to get the benefits of using Excel and AE together. While I'm in ARGUS Enterprise, I can actually navigate to really any report, and I can actually export this report out to Excel. So if I'm taking a look at my cash flow and I need this cash flow in Excel, I can actually go, hit export, and export out to Microsoft Excel. Once I have that cash flow in Excel, I have the ability to copy and paste pieces of data out of this cash flow. I could copy the whole sheet and paste it in another workbook. I have the ability just to highlight the pieces of information that I would like. Copy it, and I can go and I can paste it into a template where maybe I have my own dashboards and our own templates that we want this data in. And so I can easily do it that way, or I can also highlight the information that I want directly in ARGUS Enterprise. And then once I copy it from ARGUS Enterprise, I can actually easily just go directly into Excel and paste all of that data directly into Excel, which can be really beneficial if you're posting multiple properties cash flows in Excel, and maybe they're all feeding one consolidated cash flow in one dashboard in Excel. Now, not only can you use Excel and AE by taking information out of Argus Enterprise, but it's actually very easy to get information from Excel directly into Argus Enterprise by copying and pasting as well. So let's say that somebody has sent me a rent roll in Excel. I can actually pretty easily paste this rent roll into Argus Enterprise. So I can take a look and see how many tenants I have. I have a total of 13. So what I can do is I actually go into Argus Enterprise, go to my tenant rent roll, add in a record. I can actually duplicate that record 13 times, or 12 times really. Once I duplicate it, I now have 13 records added in, and that's really all you have to do in order to copy and paste. Once you have the blank records, now I can go into my rent roll, copy the names of the tenants, and I can paste them right into Argus Enterprise. Now, not only can I copy and paste the tenant names, I also have the ability to copy and paste their start date, their end date, their areas, their annual base rent, their rent per square foot, however I want to enter that in. I have the ability to go in and paste many of these options. So I can actually highlight the start date, head right on into Argus Enterprise, paste it in to AE, and then I can go and highlight the end date as well and paste that into Argus Enterprise too. And I can do that with the rent. I could do it with the area they're taking up. So not only can you pull information out of Excel, but you also can push information into AE and copy and paste information into Argus Enterprise pretty easily too. So those are just a few of our tips and tricks on how Argus Enterprise and Excel work in conjunction, how compatible they are with each other, and just a few of the items that you can do. Thank you so much.